When a participant walks through our door, the first thing we have to do before we add them to NVTrack is to make sure that they're not already in NVTrack. We do this by going to the NVTrack tab, and that brings us straight to Find a Customer. You'll notice that there's no way to add a customer until we've searched first. So let's just say that Jonathan Test walks through our door and wants to enroll with our agency. When I search for him, I find a few, and I double check his birth date to see that I'm looking at the correct record. And here he is, 7/1/1992, and when I hit select, I notice that there is a service provider already associated with him, a case manager. He's got an application date of April 2011, which was a year ago, but there is no follow-up date, no exit date. This tells me that he is still enrolled with NV Global Provider and that his case manager is still working with him. I will have to let him know that he needs to go through the formal transfer process in order to change agencies to mine. Or he may decide that he wants to go back to his old provider and continue to receive services from them. If you have any questions on this, please feel free to give us a call at support or email us. Let's look at another example. Let's say that our participant walks through the door. His last name is Test, first name is Training. I click search, and here he is. I see that his birth date matches the participant that has walked through the door. When I hit select, I notice that there's no service provider associated with this individual at all. This lets me know that he was probably entered into the system but never went through the enrollment process with another service provider. At this point, I can add myself as a service provider for this individual. Let's go through one last example. Let's say that the individual who walks through the door is last name Test, first name Brian. And there he is. I've confirmed his birth date and the last four of his social. And I see that he does have a service provider associated with him, along with a case manager, but his application date, registration date, participation date have a 2010 date, but the exit date is the date that I most want to pay attention to. If the exit date is over a year old, as well as his follow-up date, this lets me know that he's no longer in the 1-year follow-up with this funded partner. This means that I can add myself as an agency. If this exit date were within 1 year, I would have to tell this individual that they'll have to go back to the agency with which they are still in follow-up. But in this case, it's over a year old. I can add myself as the funded partner for this individual.